What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete strategy. I am Pete. I am a top player in the game of Risk Global Domination. I have a daily release on YouTube and I stream on Twitch weekdays for the winter. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come along the ride with me. What I am doing today is we are doing our next episode in the weekly wrap up. And this is for the final week of January 2023. All right, so couple of things I wanted to get into for Risk. So first thing, we're playing a game of Trigon's Capitals. So progressive capitals with Blizzard and Fog, similar to what will be played this week in the tournament. So I'm taking a quick look at the start of the game. But this one is pre-recorded because it's going to allow me to talk about all the things that I want to talk about today. So, first of all, let's take a quick look at the tournament standings. So, here is the spreadsheet. After week one, we see 3 players getting a perfect game in round 1. Alex Wolfie 2, Jason, and TLGYKN. We also see a ton of near perfect scores. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 20 players, 19 players. 19 players with a near perfect score of 21 points. Shout out to those of you who's done really well. Hey, congrats to Truth, man. Congrats to Rudolph. I know John is a friend of the show. Good job. Well done. Sneaks is up here. Very cool. Awesome to see perfect scores. Awesome to see nearly perfect scores. The old Peteman is kind of middle of the pack, finishing around, I think, 150th place, where it's a multiplayer tie at 16 points, around 150th place. So I am right here in the middle at 16 points. I'm happy with 16 points to start. I feel really good about that start. Hopefully I can really rack them in round 2. So round 2, guys, settings for round 2. We're doing Europe Advanced Capitals with Blizzards, Fog, and Portals, semi-auto setup, progressive cards, expert automated bot in case there is one or in case a player disconnects. 60-second turns, balance blitz dice, and there is no cutoff in the round. So we do still have nearly 1,000 players live in this tournament, which is so awesome. One thing I just wanted to dwell on and mention, because I had a stated goal of a big part of my mission with this work being to grow Risk into what I see its destiny as an esport being. This feels very satisfying for me in a deep, meaningful way. So, just to tell you all how grateful I am for you, um, we're at about 10 times the viewership for Risk on my channel, on other content creators' channels in this tournament in a year. So Risk has absolutely exploded, and I don't think we're done yet. I think we have a lot more to go. So just to say here, we can reveal round 3 now on the show. Round 3 is Mont Saint Michel, 70% domination with Blizzards on, no fog, no portal. So we will be able to stream round 3. We won't be able to stream round 2, unfortunately. Auto placement progressive cards, so it's progressive 70 on Mont Saint Michel. Blizzards are on, everything else is off. And the cutoff for round 3 will be approximately the top 300 people. Okay. What else can I talk to you about the tournament? We also see, it's important to mention, we also see many great players get eliminated, which is something that great players have a hard time, myself included, have a hard time coping with. So 15 points is great. 15 points means you won with a bounty, right? Happy to see Phil up here too. I want to see a good tournament by Phil. So we see some really great players up here, but Amerigo's still alive. There you go. And Mike, excellent stuff. But what you also see is you also see a lot of great players getting knocked out in like the 6 point, 4.2 point bracket. And that is just the nature of the beast, right? An important thing I want everyone to see JJ getting 6 points in the first round. Like maybe he comes back, same with Kilted, right? Maybe they come back and get a killer round 2 and make it to the cutoff. Anything's possible, but it's just very important to remember that and Tyler, man, lots of great players getting hit hard in round one. Important to remember that the sample size for a risk competition determines the outcome. In order to win one of these tournaments, you have to get incredibly lucky and be incredibly good. Okay? So, that is about all I have to say about the tournament. Talk about where is my Steam? We can talk about the Risk Community Bulletin for a minute because I think this is something we can get into as well. Happy New Year's, Generals! It was posted last Thursday. Did you know? In the Northern Hemisphere, January is the coldest month in many places, but in the Southern Hemisphere, it's by far the hottest. The team at SMG Studios is back from their holiday break, and we are excited about what's to come in 2023. All right, let's talk about it. 2022 was an excellent year for Risk, just like I was saying. To sum it up, we reached 100,000 members on the Discord. Awesome. The community hosted many tournaments. Yes, we did. We added dice troops, game modes, and new map packs. We added battle points to the game. Risk got a new look and feel on the home and game setup screens. Suggestions from the community, including an update to bonuses on the Japan map. You see this? It was shouted out. Suggestions from the community, including the old Peteman being loud and annoying, and a new semi-automatic troop placement. I'm loving this. It's so good to see, guys, that SMG is listening to us and accommodating what small changes they can make. And the split leaderboard, of course. Great steps in the right direction. Let's keep that progress going for 2023. SMG says, thank you for the feedback and support for Risk in 2022. We have no doubt that this year will be even better. All right. In our last bulletin, we showed what the Risk roadmap looks like for 2023. Here's the roadmap. February to May, we have quality of life, so optimization for Android and iOS, new beginner tutorials and scenarios, and content. We get a new map pack, we get new dice, we get new troops. Okay. June to September, projected a major networking overhaul, change our networking solution for improved stability, faster and more consistent connection and reconnection. But they are working on this, and reduce vulnerability to cheating. Great. We really, really need it. This will unlock features for future releases, including spectating, game replays, game histories, team battles. Guys, let's go, right? And of course, new dice, new troops. Okay. Finally, towards the end of the year, they are projecting gameplay with a secret mission mode, a new mode. So exciting. And other quality of life improvements, new scenarios, tutorials, how to play videos, and a new map pack, new dice, and new troops. Awesome. Okay, so to kick off the year, they will focus on new dice, new troops, brand new tutorials, and the Out of This World map pack. We shall see what that looks like. Optimization for better performance on devices, community suggestions from the Discord. This is why I am so adamant trying to use the platform that I've built here, not necessarily to amplify my own voice exclusively, but also to promote things that I think we all would like to see. Okay? The second half of the year, that's why I'm saying upvote those risk ideas, guys. Second half of the year will be all about updating our network solutions to improve the multiplayer experience and enable new and exciting features in the future. This will be a big deal and should fix the number one issue, such as crashes and dropouts. Yes, we see so many disconnects, and it is a game killer. Do you have any more suggestions? Let us know. Really big smiley face. All right, folks, let's work together. Let's upvote the suggestions. Let's amplify the stuff that we really want SMG to focus on. Focus on tournaments. We shouted them out last week or the week before, but just a reminder, if you're new to the Discord, if you're on the Discord, you've likely heard of our Risk tournaments. The community organizes the tournaments. Last month, we had the 5th official 1v1, won by my friend, All of XC, second place, Frailwave, third place, Under the Gun. And the link to Olive's video on YouTube, if you haven't watched it, he does get about as excited as I got when I won my world title. So congratulations again to Olive. And now, the Risk World Championships. We are currently live in week 2, as I discussed. Cool logo, eh? Credit to Slacker, bro. I like this logo a lot. Looks super profesh. Round one began on the 16th and was great to see so many new players with their shiny dice. Tournament officially has the highest entries for any Risk tournament with 1,060 signups. We would like to thank the Discord and community for making it happen. Thank you all for your hard work. Event helpers, staff on the Discord, let's go. To kick off the general showcase, here are some favorite streams of the month. Shout out to Kilted, shout out to Mallory, shout out to Pugs, and obviously your boy Pateman. Let's go. Okay, the Discord link for Risk is actually in your game. Discord.gg/Risk, and then my Discord is the one you would get. Type in Discord on this show. So discord.gg/the Killpea strategy. Yeah, Mal, your stream is featured on the 18th. Let's go. Well done. Awesome to see. Risk around the world. Megamind. We got some memes. You guys can catch up the rest of the community bulletin if you are so inclined. All right. Apparently Kilted hid something in my house. I also hid something in my like to show you guys. Hey, thank you, Andy. Thank you, Nice Noise. Thank you, Trake7. The work you've put in, Andy Bates, the work you put in to improve the visibility and the quality of the game for Risk is unparalleled. That's what you do for the game. I am trying. Yeah. Is this a weekly show? Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's something to say, we don't need to do it exactly every week. But as far as there being a big, bad tournament going on, I'm happy to talk about the results right now. If you don't want to put it on YouTube, you don't have to, but I'm gonna continue this. So right now, I'm gonna go and grab something to show you all. And we'll just continue. This isn't the Caps game, right? This is a World Dom game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to premiere what you are all fighting for, this trophy. So I decided I finally got the Risk board that SMG sent me as my prize for the World Tournament framed. So I got it back from the framers. It is being hung in a place of honor on my wall. It says Risk World Champion Season 2 2022. This is peak Pete, ladies and gentlemen. It might not be possible to replicate these results, but you know we're going to try. And maybe the 1,060 of you that are also fighting for this title will have something to say about that. It is an honor, nothing less than an honor and a privilege to be able to continue to do this work for you. I think it looks great, and it means a lot to me. And who'd have thunk it, taking something like Risk seriously would end up with all this, right? With thousands of players competing, 100,000 members on the Discord. What are we at? Almost 64,000 subscribers on my YouTube. It's incredible, guys. So the mission on track. The wheels are turning. We're getting there. We're growing. I love it, and I want you guys to feel like any support you have given on this mission is certainly not in vain. We have all sorts of evidence to point to. They're making changes in the game. The size of the community is growing. The game is vibrant and alive, and we'll keep that positivity going. Don't want to be Pollyanna about it. Obviously, there's all sorts of things that need to be worked on and improved, but I would much rather dwell on things that are actionable than focus on the negative. So, all right. So we got a mission. We got a scorecard. My round one last week had almost 800 viewers. So if you guys recall, the video that went viral was round one of 2022, and I was excited to be getting 70 viewers, 100 viewers. My first stream with 100 viewers ever, right? And now we see 100 viewers on Twitch at any given time watching Risk, which is just amazing, right? So this season, season one, game one, almost 800 viewers. So we're 10x the size of the audience. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Okay, I won't be able to stream round two because we have fog in the game. So my round two game should be played on Thursday night, my time. And then I will come back and post it on YouTube as soon as I can. But it will be, towards the end of the week. Like Friday, we usually do fixed Friday, so maybe Saturday or something like that. For anyone who's wondering when Pete's round two is, I'm scheduled to play Thursday night, my time. So the YouTube video will likely be up on Saturday. Okay. Are we going to question from Drek Mobile 69? What a great name. All right. Drek Mobile would like to know, if you could travel back in time, which year or which historic event would you visit? Just visiting, though, you go back to normal time. After. Never thought about this. If I could live in another time, back in time. Well, because I'm a greedy person, I think I would like to recover some sort of priceless relic. So if there was a way to do that, I think that would be. Don't care to experience a historical event first time to know whether or not something happened, or meet a person that I admire. I would much rather just get something very valuable, steal it from the past, and bring it in here. That's my terrible answer for you, but it is what it is. Okay, moving on to the Q&A portion of the show. We have priority Q&A questions. The first one is from Bagel. Bagel would like to know, would you rather be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort? Sorry. So I have to do this to this question. So I do not believe that human beings have a good nor an evil nature. I think both of them are a flawed way of looking at people. I think we are both simultaneously, and it's a much more complex and difficult position to maintain in your mind, right? The idea that you're both good and evil simultaneously. But as far as the question of nature, human nature is concerned, I know in my own experience that I have both the capacity for good and the capacity for evil. I think the line Solzhenitsyn uses is the line between good and evil runs through the heart of every man, right? So you have it on both sides. Um, so given all that, I'm very cognizant and comfortable with the reality that I am a flawed and imperfect man, right? I kind of own it, and I try to integrate it into my being instead of denying it and claiming some sort of nonsense purity that doesn't ring true, doesn't seem authentic to me. Okay. There's a follow-up question by Bagel that they crossed out, asking about merch. So I was wearing the "What Is Up, Risk Takers" T-shirt that was given to me by my sister-in-law, and I am very interested in producing merchandise. The wheels on that are turning, but they're turning slowly. I know there's a demand for it, and I know that there's a missed opportunity on the table. So, if you are in that space and would like to help me push the ball forward, just reach out to me, and maybe we can get this done. And I know that's a lot of offers, but my DMs are generally closed, but you can easily reach me on my Discord. I'm very available, and I'm happy to talk to anyone. So there we go. Appreciate the help. Okay, we're moving on to the regular Q&A now. The priority Q&A, folks, are those who boost the server. If you ask me questions in my YouTube comments, if you ask me questions in my Twitch chat, I would love to answer questions, but unfortunately, given that there are time constraints, this is how you get those questions answered, okay? So, come on down to the Kill Pete Strategy Discord, put your questions in the Q&A, and they will be answered in sequence. So, the next question that I will get to was from No Name, Hello, Pete. If you became the lead risk developer, what feature would you add or improve on? Again, I am a selfish man and I'm biased. So, what I would do is I would focus my attention on um, things that would benefit streamers. So, for example, you used to be able to see the name of the player here for the entirety of their turn. You can no longer see that. That's dumb. I would love to know who I'm playing against at a glance. Another example, you used to have a number underneath your name which corresponded to your position on the free for all ladder. You no longer have that. That's dumb. What we should see is a single ranked number, not a rank score that you then have to cross reference and check to see where you sit on the ladder, and also wonder if you're above the top 1,000. Go to a separate website. The whole point of a ranking system is to incentivize people to play. Players want to track their growth. And then the third thing I would do, other than really minor quality of life improvements, like um, setting the slider to 100% to take rather than 100% of stack, which just fixes the idiosyncrasy of balance splits losing extra dice. We've talked about this in previous shows. Um, but things like adding new modes like they're talking about, increasing the stability of the system, improving the ranking system, right? I would really like to see the decoupling of all of the attention that has been paid to 1v1s over the past years go back into free for all risk and have a fair and fun ranking system that incentivizes players to play. Okay? Okay. Sakuraba would like to know. Hey Pete, being well traveled as you are, what's your cultural cuisine? I'm stuck between Thai and Mexican. Ooh, okay, I love Chinese. Um, so when we were kids, just outside of high school, my garage was like the hangout spot. So everyone would come hang out in Pete's garage, smoke weed all night. And we'd go to Korean barbecue. So if you guys don't know what Korean barbecue is, the style of cooking is there is a grill in the center of your table, and they bring you seasoned raw meats and whatever sides. 'Cause the Koreans are big on sides: bean sprouts, kimchi, daikon, radish, tofu, potato, all sorts of things. Um, Kimchi, obviously, kimchi is like the staple of Korean cuisine. It's spicy pickled cabbage. If you don't know what kimchi is, it's really good for you. I like it. I never used to like it, but now I like it. And Korean barbecue is just the best. You cook your own meat then and there. It's the freshest you can get. And obviously, if you have the munchies late at night, this place was open and it was like $13 tip included. And that was a good tip back then. So if I could only eat one meal for the rest of my life, that's the one I would pick. I love Asian cuisine. I love sushi. I love Chinese food, but Korean barbecue gets me. And I also love seafood, oysters, crab's legs, that sort of stuff. Great question. We can talk about food forever, and now I'm hungry. All right. So, next question is from Special One. A special one indeed. Hi, Pete. New to the server. Welcome. I do enjoy risk videos on YouTube. At what time do you usually go live? So I think when this was out, I had a schedule posted. I no longer have a schedule posted. I can't seem to stick to any predetermined time to play that doesn't make this feel like work. And I've found that making risk video and having it feel like work very negatively impacts the vibrational quality of the work that I'm producing, right? A very, very key essential element of my show is that I am having fun because I know that resonates most with the audience of a gaming channel, right? So it is important both that I am teaching you something that you don't know and also that I am having fun. And those are the two most important elements of my show that I prioritize. It turns out that having a schedule doesn't work for me, right? One of the things I've always done in my professional life is I've prioritized time freedom over earning potential. I value my time more than money, if that makes any sense. So the way that is borne out in this equation is um, I think I'd rather stream more often, but on a less rigid schedule. And I think this way you get a more frequent, higher quality show but I can't ever promise when. Sorry. That's the way I work. Okay? All right. Are you shitting on Korean barbecue, Heitsung? I'm going to go on about Korean barbecue. You know what, guys? I got something else to show you. Buddy Crymo made me a photo montage of us at Korean barbecue. Just so you guys know I wasn't bullshitting you. Look at all this. Young Pete. Look at all the meat at the table. It's delicious. The best. I love Korean barbecue. I promise. Pete, post that on Discord? All right, I will. We got a stretch redeem from Fur Bud. All right, I'll do a little stretcherino for you. We'll get back to the Q&A. Stretch redeem, folks, if you want to do them with me, take care of yourself. You're just sitting in a chair. Do a couple push-ups. Do a little stretch. Take care of your body. Treat yourself like you're someone you love. Okay. What is our next question? Our next question is from the Mustard. Hey, Pete. Really important question, I'm sure. You could turn yourself into an animal at will. Which animal would it be? And I would get to keep my mind and intelligence. Ooh. Probably a bird. Swimming in the sea is cool. Being a big monster like an elephant or a bear would be cool, or a lion. Ooh. But I'd love to be a bird. Love to be able to fly. Victor Slim 3D would like to know, Peteman, great content as always. Much respect. What is your best suggestion for a workout regimen for a man that needs to drop 100+ pounds to get back good and healthy and not hurt oneself in the process? This is assuming said individual behaves in the kitchen / crafts what they eat without being so restrictive, and the discipline goes out the window. Okay, Victor Slim. If you have to lose a ton of weight, as you said, a very important thing to keep in mind is it's better to do the thing that will allow you to do that consistently and healthfully and stick to it. So, thank you, Krilly P66 for the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. So, important to remember. My way of thinking about physical health is the 6 elements, right? So you want to make sure you get 8 hours of sleep. You want to wake up and fall asleep at the same time, ideally. You want to keep your diet right. So diet is going to be a major element in this equation. Probably intermittent fasting or OMAD, 1 meal a day. Intermittent fasting, I can do 18-6. That is 18 hours off, 6 hours on. So you eat at the beginning of the 6-hour window and you eat at the end, and that's it for the day. So the vast majority of the time you're in a blood sugar level where you are metabolizing your body's fat for blood glucose rather than eating new food and keeping your blood glucose high and your insulin high all the time. And there, you can go into the science behind intermittent fasting and why it works. But if you're eating a ton of carbs and or eating too much food too often, You will be in a caloric surplus. You will gain and not lose. So, and then the other things you want to take care of as far as your discipline is while you're at it, you might as well focus your attention on converting some of that fat into muscle so you can do muscle building, strength training exercises. You want to do some cardio as well, right? Keep your heart strong, get your heart rate up at least 3 times a week for at least 20 minutes a day. These are the bare minimum, right? Build some muscle, stretch, balance, flexibility, endurance. So balance, flexibility, endurance, strength, diet, sleep, and finally meditation, right? The element of your discipline that also might be lacking is the willpower to choose that mental state that keeps you on track to being a man that you love and then treating yourself like you are a man that you love, right? There is some component of self-destruction associated with any addictive process, be it chemical, be it food, be it gaming, any of that, right? You want to pull back from that a little bit. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy food, just like I'm not saying that you can't enjoy substances or gaming or whatever tickles your dopamine, right? But you really want to treat yourself like someone you love. So I would start with that. I would start with low carb diet, intermittent fasting, dial it up, right? Maybe don't eat till noon, then don't eat till 3, right? Get that window as small as possible where you're comfortable. You'll find your energy levels improve. You'll find your cognitive abilities strangely better. We are addicted to sugar in Western societies, and that sugar can happen to be in the form of simple carbohydrates and a lot of drinks, white bread, all that stuff. So, all right, Smash Gaming would like to see some push-ups. We're going to throw some down. And yeah, just similarly, the system like this, right? If you can figure out a way to incorporate the fitness into your daily routine so that it doesn't feel like a chore, so that it's enjoyable and that it's incorporated, right? I've decided, well, man, if I'm going to sit here for multiple hours, play video games, let's throw some push-ups down and it will help slow my inevitable physical decline. A little stretch or two. And there you have it, folks. Mental health, physical health, fitness, all about loving yourself in the end. We are very, very powerful beings. We can manifest things that don't exist from ideas in our mind. Literally the power of God. So, how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to being self-destructive? Or are you going to use it to turn yourself into the person you know you can be, wish to be, and deserve to be? That's my answer. Good luck to you, Victor Slim. I know you got this, my friend. All the love in the world to you. Nick says, I'm going to manifest these nuts, Pete. Nick, why are you always such a dick? How you doing, bro? Nice to see you always, man. Are you still alive? How did Nick do in round 1?
Nick got 11 points. Okay. I see it. Not the best open, but you're not licked yet, sir. Okay, that was the World Dom game. We also have a caps game for you all. Nick says, I did fine. I got trolled a little by a beginner, but we made it out. Yeah, dude. Well done. Glad to see it. Okay. Get those redeems in. Feeling good? Our next question comes from Black Sandra. Hey, Pete. In a Q&A, you talked about death, that our bag of meat is recycled and will disappear. The only thing left is legacy, like you and your millions of hours of video. Right. Here's a question about this legacy of yours. Do you think people might discover your videos and channel in the far future? If yes, how does it make you feel? Also, with humanity entering the AI era, the high possibility that the Kill Pete strategy videos keep going on forever, even after you're gone. You would just be an AI deepfake generated based on the millions of footage of your channel. What's my opinion about this if it were to happen? I have a lot to say about this, and it goes super science fiction-y super quickly. So, the model I see humanity evolving into is a cybernetic cyborg hive mind. So I think we all eventually transcend our physical form. We become so powerful that we are able to fully measure the pattern behind. First premise, we assume the mind is material and measurable. Okay? We assume the mind is a pattern of energy operating on the meat computer that is your brain, right? So the meat computer that is your brain is electrical, and you are a consciousness that emerges from the algorithm that is your mind. Best way I can describe it. So assuming all of that is true, imagine we are able to measure that, copy it, and download it into a system like the Matrix, but a system that would be designed by us, controlled by us, so that you are essentially God in your own universe. That universe would become far more interesting to you than the real universe that you are not God over. And I think many, many people, once this game is invented, will eschew their physical form completely and permanently. I think the long-term implications of that look like humanity completely subsumed by this technology, and we merge with each other. So all of our minds work together, and we merge with the artificial intelligences that evolve from us as well. Okay? So if we're still not out on this kind of crazy limb, right? If this isn't too much for you and you're like, well, that's sci-fi, that'll never happen, here's the next place we go with it. This is an emergent property. I think this is a consequence of evolution. I think this is inevitable. So as far as my content becoming the intellectual birthright of all humankind, or whatever humankind becomes, I also see that as kind of inevitable. If some of me persists into the future algorithmically, then it is like the butterfly effect, right? It's just the mere contribution of one man into the vast ocean of data, the nearly infinite ocean of data that our species is now producing. And that's the best way I can describe it. I hope it made some amount of sense. It seems super clear in my head, and then when I try and use words to describe what I predict is going to happen in the future, it gets very, I don't know, esoteric very quickly. Nick says, that's cool and all, Pete, but humanity still hasn't evolved past the mistake. That was mayonnaise. I think we're a ways off. My friend, you do not come into my chat and give me a hard time about enjoying the creamy white sauce that is mayonnaise. Never. I put that shit on everything, all right? Okay. Also, with humanity entering the AI era, it's a high possibility that the videos keep going on forever. Yeah, I would say it's likely, unless all of our data gets nuked somehow. I don't even know that there's such a distinction at a highly advanced enough technology between an AI deepfake and the real thing, right? At some point, consciousness would emerge from these artificial minds too, wouldn't it? I don't think we have a God spirit. I don't think we have something that is immaterial. So a soul or something. I think, or in the same way that a machine couldn't have it too. Okay. Pete likes all sorts of creamy sauces. Yes. The red apple one is implying that I like cum. Yes, white. Yeah, we got it. It's a cum joke. Making cum jokes, right? We got butt plugs and cum jokes. This is an inappropriate stream. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Moving on to the next question. Reese would like to know, why do you do goofy faces on your thumbnails? Good question. So I have received a little bit of pushback from this, and it's surprising. I think some percentage of the audience feels like silly faces in thumbnails condescends to them. Let me just explain this to you. I have absolutely zero artistic ability for visual arts. I can appreciate good design, but I cannot create. So I took a bunch of pictures of myself making a bunch of different faces. I liked the lighting in the bathroom at the ramen place that I like to go to. And then I sent them to Kali, who makes my thumbnails and is an artist and is great. I said, please make my thumbnails. And she makes me one every day. And they're great. And I love them. And that is as much effort and care as I put into this. You guys know I don't edit. I don't make my thumbnails either. I'm an idiot, but I'm good enough at this one thing, sitting in front of the microphone and talking and playing Risk, to keep 212 people entertained, apparently. Who knew? What a blessing, right? I'm beyond grateful for this strange ability. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for supporting me. But I'm not going to put any mental energy into the thumbnails. And if somebody comes to me and says, Pete, I think your thumbnails are shit, and here's why, here's 7 points why, we can change them a little bit, right? We can add to them, we can tweak them. Kali is very open to suggestions, but I like generally what she does. I like how my thumbnails look. And if there's something that you guys don't like in an earnest sense and have constructive criticism, I'm all ears. Okay? But the stupid faces, hey man, that's just my face. Thank you, Eddie Slater, for the Prime sub. Thank you so much, bro. Oh man, you guys are great. You guys really do keep me going. I appreciate it. Current game settings, we're playing progressive capitals with fog and blizzards on Trigon's Labyrinth. Okay. And I did respond to Reese saying, bro, that's just what my face looks like. Okay. I already made that joke. All right. Doobie J would like to know, can we get a karaoke request channel asking for a friend? I don't know, Dibs. What song do you want me to sing? Oh, Haizong's throwing. Haizong, are you trying to jump the line by throwing in a question? All right, I got you, but just because you're you. How did you do this season, Haizong? Or rather, this round? I bet you Haizong did well too. Entry level GM, the big height song with 8 points. All right, buddy. You got some catching up to do, my friend, but I know anyone could do it. It would be you. Heizog says, I know I've asked silly, goofy questions in the past, but now I want you to put this aside and answer my question honestly. What is better? Having a set on 3 in Risk World Championship Prague final, or the newly acquired plug up my butt? A sincere answer would be appreciated. I don't know. Let me find out. The plug. Feels good. Yeah, John says, I heard you got a gift. Was it your idea, John? It was your idea, wasn't it? Oh my god, I get fucking trolled. Can I sing Tequila? I will not be singing Tequila. Do we have a karaoke redeem? We don't have a good song lined up yet, do we? What was the last suggestion? Is Echo Darkness still here, by the way? All right. An already karaoke list would be nice. Look, I'm open-minded, right? I understand that the karaoke redeem is not for everyone. I don't mind doing it as long as it's fun enough.
John's like, you didn't say you're not going to use it. No, no, no. I'm using it right now. It's in my butt. I will sing songs that I know, that I like, and that I can do. That's my general rule for karaoke, right? But given that it is a frequent daily show, there might be some reruns. This is getting demonetized. No, man, dude, they're like people interviewing porn stars on YouTube. This isn't getting demonetized. Get out of here. You're allowed to have a little bit of fun. I'm old enough to remember when Pete Karaoke was free for all in Drunk VC. Dude, I'll sing you a song, Nicholas. I'll sing you any song you want, as long as I can do it. Okay. We have a wall of text here. So our next question is from Granta. I have a solution regarding your response related to media bias. Do you? In your last video said that the best way for media to be unbiased is to have a Wikipedia type format where people can edit. No, I didn't say that. You misunderstood. I think this isn't the best approach to the problem. Okay, so now we're strawmanning. To understand why they are biased, you have to understand that there are incentives that factor into this. Yes, like money. For example, money and status. Ding. If a popular news station that's typically left-wing ideology has decided to start providing right-wing content, they would lose donors, status, and viewers, and so forth. All right, I can stop you there. It should be illegal that the news media has any sort of political bias. That should be absolutely, utterly illegal. Let's continue. If a better system is on, I think, Granta, I think a better system is on that is one that rewards based on quality. Yes, like YouTube. Like the YouTube algorithm. Great. Okay. YouTube actually does a decent job at this because people don't waste their time watching shit they don't want to watch. Because today's generation are not wasting their time watching news. I think the way that news is presented to us will transform in the next decade. Another reason people are going to move away from news is because they are realizing it's just propaganda. Yes, again, we do agree. Any bias in news media should be illegal, right? There should be no political bias by law. Otherwise, you're not being informed of the facts. You are, by definition, receiving propaganda. It's prevalent on both the right and the left. You would be ignorant not to believe it's propaganda. Okay, so we do agree. Let me know what you think of an incentive-based quality approach compared to YouTube-style news, or compared to Wikipedia-style news. Sorry if long. No, great. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is your initial characterization of my view was incorrect. So I'm not talking about the way we do news to be wiki formatted. I'm talking about the way we would promote legislation in a non-representational democracy. Very different. Okay? Currently, the way legislation is promoted is it is written by lawyers for lawyers, and those lawyers happen to be elected representatives who ostensibly represent their population, but actually represent themselves. In a true democracy, you would want to design a system whereby the average citizen could promote legislation. The way you would do that is by a wiki format, upvoting and downvoting, right? More people who are invested in something would do so, and then it would reach a critical mass of upvotes, and then it would be brought forth, and then it could be voted on in referenda, and those referenda would be frequent and updated, and everyone would have access to them. They wouldn't be mandated to vote, but you would be able to vote daily on anything you cared about, and you would be hopefully, and this is the second part of it, you'd be hopefully informed about it through legally mandated non-biased media. Okay. How about Let's Groove by Earth, Wind, and Fire? I'll do an Earth, Wind, and Fire song for you. Is Echo Darkness still here, though? I want to get him... Nick says he's down for sortition. Yeah, nice. That's a good one. It's all very complicated. I have given up on the notion of representational democracy as being too structurally flawed. So that is sort of the hill I like to die on. If we are going to use a democracy model at all, we need to transcend the idea that a tribal chief decision maker should be, right? That a human being, a powerful human being should be making decisions for groups. That's nonsense. The groups can make decisions
through consensus if you design a good enough system, which is the part that I'm interested to talk about, is how would you design a system to actually enfranchise voting for groups? Okay. This conversation devolves very, very quickly based on the media that I'm using, based on the knowledge level and the understanding of the words of the people I'm talking. So I'm not interested in having a political conversation about this in the YouTube comments. I will repeat that. I am not interested in having a conversation about this in the YouTube comments. So feel free to bring up whatever you would like. Know that I'm not going to read it. And if you have questions, though, this is the place. Put them in the Q&A. We can dig into the nitty gritty here because it gives me a chance to read what you said, think about it, and think about what I can respond with. Give me a chance to talk as opposed to, unfortunately, my job is not a writer. So I'm not here writing long-winded YouTube comments. It is not the medium for that. Okay. You calling it stupid? Everyone's stupid. I'm stupid too, right? I am often wrong. Okay? There are structural flaws to public conversations. When Elon Musk was on Rogan once, he put it in a very interesting way. He said, there's loss with language, right? So I have an idea in my head and then it is compressed. It is compressed into words, and then those words are transmitted verbally through sound waves in the air to your ears. You pick them up and then you unpack that data, and there's loss at every step of translation, right? It goes from a fully formed idea to my mind into something less perfect in terms of words, and then those words have to be words that you understand and agree with, and at each step, and then it gets decoded into your own way of thinking. So the fact that we can communicate with words at all is no small miracle, right? It is one of the most advanced survival adaptations that humanity could possibly, like the bipedal ape with opposable thumbs, grasping hands, consciousness, and language. That's what we are. Thank you, Eddie Hawk, for the Prime sub. Thank you. Shiggle Britches says, did I post my question in the wrong place? I used Discord Q&A chat. Do we have one by Shiggle? Yeah, you got one in there. We might not get to all of them today, right? We got well, I'll play till this game is ended. I'll keep talking till this game is ended. We got another question. Also, sorry, just to put it the long way, or just to put Granta's question to bed. Thank you for asking that. It was a great question. Thanks, and sorry if long. I love talking about this. So the way you asked it gave me the opportunity in an intelligent way. But also, I don't want to talk to one person, right? It's so much more efficient if I do this on my show. I'm talking to thousands of people. And yes, you're not going to get something. I'm not going to get something. We're both going to screw it up. There's going to be loss, right? There's going to be confusion. This is the mechanism that I'm choosing to employ to work on that confusion, right? People asking angrily misunderstood questions in my YouTube comments will not get response, okay? Don't do that. It's just not the medium, okay? It's the medium's fault, more so than yours or mine. Going on to Luke Shrives. Hey, Pete, love the show. Thank you. Have you ever played or heard about the same time turn playstyle of Risk? Yes. It was part of an older version of Digital Risk that I played growing up. Basically, all players input what they're going to do on their turn at the same time, to include reinforcements, attacks, and fortifications. This is like diplomacy, right? And then when every player has planned their turn, the entire round of turns is resolved at the same time. This allows for several different new things to happen, to include having multiple territories of your own attack the same territory, and multiple players can attack the same territory simultaneously. What do I think of a concept like this? I think it's awesome. Nick knows what he's talking about. Nick says same time Risk is goated. It was in Risk 2 by Micropose. Yeah, dude. Risk 2 was dank. I remember this too. I love it. And anytime we have more modes, that's good for me. So yes, I love it. Let's do it. Ormagon. Hey, Pete. Great to see your positive self again the last couple of days. Here to thank you for bringing something important to Twitch and the younger gaming community, promoting mental and physical health, improving yourself while bringing down certain populations, personal responsibility, and self-love. Keep it going. Yeah, brother. Got it. Those are my values, man.
right there. I love you guys. I love me and I love you. I want you to know that. That is the message, right? There's enough hate and negativity in this world. We don't need to add any more to it. And Pete puts you down every day. Well, okay, I love you all except for fake llamas. Except what Ormagon said. Goated. Thank you, guys. People talk about wanting new game modes, but I never see anyone running portals. Well, we're doing portals in the round 2 game, aren't we? Watch Rez me. Oh, thanks, Rez. Cheers. Oh, you put another question in, John? All right. Rez with the 5 gift subs. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. You guys make me feel good when I do this work. All right. John wanted to be bumped to the head of the queue because he's a booster in the server. He's got a priority Q&A question. He says, I thought I had VIP on your Twitch. Did I take it away? I wouldn't have taken it away. So if you ever had it. Yeah, you are VIP here. Why aren't you VIP here? I don't know. Did someone take it away? I wouldn't have taken it away. So if you were VIP before, I can give you. Right? How do I do that? VIP and bracket and then space username. Where's John? King John 2554. Yes, sir. Okay, well, you're a VIP. Yeah, done deal. That was easy. Back to the questions. And he is. John is a very important person. Moving on, Risky Phil would like to know. Hey, Phil, are you here? We're getting to your question. As a man in a rural area, I do not find an attack on masculinity. Also, for some background, I played combat sports, am married, fathered children, coached kids, can do home maintenance. Things that are generally considered masculine, whether or not they should be. I have seen people from larger areas either almost apologize for masculinity or go the other way where they do things to flaunt their masculinity. In my day-to-day experience, I have no need to do either. You talk about your ideas on masculinity, what it means to you, what it should be. Also, have you felt an attack on masculinity? Include anything you want to on the subject. Okay, cool. I would love it if Phil was here and he could hear my answer live, but we can give him the link to the clip. Okay, lots there. So the actual question is, can I talk about my ideas on masculinity? Sure. Simply put, your comment about things that are generally considered masculine, whether or not they should be, I'm not going to apply a lens of what should be, because I don't think it's up to me to talk about the world of ought. This is how philosophers do it, right? There's the world of is and the world of ought in ethics. But let's focus on the world of is, okay? Men and women are different. Okay. We know this to be true. It is inscrutably true. Men and women vary in their difference across all sorts of axes. So there's a ton of overlap between things that are considered masculine, and then there's the other level of things that should be considered masculine, right? And whenever you apply the should lens, you're using someone else's ethical standard, okay? If I do something that isn't considered masculine, I might be made to feel shame by my others in the group, or I might be made to feel guilt. Okay? If we want to talk about identity for a second, I have never been confused about my masculinity. In fact, I would go the opposite. I am so masculine that the idea that anyone could be confused about that baffles me. Not to say it isn't a thing. It's to say that I completely lack empathy. I can't model it in my mind, right? Not that I lack sympathy. I lack empathy. I have a lot of sympathy for someone who would be confused about anything. But I have no way to model it in my mind, so I just simply don't understand it. What I understand is this body that I've been born into, and then I try and do my very best to understand the world through the lens that I have been given. And that lens is very masculine, as I've become aware of. Okay. Eat man. Yes, yes, indeed. Hey, thank you for the raid there, King Honk Spirit Sea. Thank you so much, man. All right. Brogan says the fact that the term toxic masculinity exists tells you what you need to know about the current year. Yeah, well, Phil didn't use the term, but it does apply, right? If you would like to vilify someone, you would accuse them of, if you would like to make someone into a villain, you would first accuse them of something they did as being a moral bad. But if you would like to design a path of permanent vilification so that there is no way they could ever redeem themselves, you would make it more like the religious model of original sin, right? So because I was born a man, if masculinity is toxic, then I am guilty of original sin. Okay. So that is the conversation, Phil. That's the piece of the conversation that you might not be experiencing in your day to day life. And I don't really engage with the topic of toxic masculinity. There are toxic people, there are negative people, there's negativity. But anytime the lens of the identity layer is added, that is fundamentally divisive, and I don't waste any of my energy on paying attention to things that divide people into any other groups other than humans. We are all humans, and we desperately need to love ourselves, love each other, and work together. We should stop building weapons to kill ourselves, and we should start figuring out systems to come to agreement. So that is how I apply my masculinity here. Okay. I'm a piece of humanity, right? I'm there's the man and the woman, right? There's the yin and the yang. This is ancient wisdom, right? Two halves of the same whole making the next generation of coming together in beautiful harmony, making the next generation of humans. Okay. Have I felt an attack on masculinity? Not personally, but culturally. Juxtapose someone like, I like Arnold Schwarzenegger as an example, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I've used this example before. Somebody who um, basically achieved the pinnacle of everything he ever set out to, right? Arnold became a multimillionaire in investing, I think in real estate. He won a world title many, many times over in bodybuilding. He became the highest actor in Hollywood, and he got elected to the governor of California, probably the highest office he could hold in the United States, being that he wasn't a natural born citizen. So, all that to say, um, Arnold Schwarzenegger exists in my mind and probably yours because we're the same age. Phil is 2 weeks younger than me. Um, as a mythical hero, right? He occupied that space in the zeitgeist in the films and television that we grew up with. If you look at media today, a generation later, I would argue we don't see healthy male role models, heroic male role models in media. Why? And that's where I'm going to leave this question. Ask yourself, what happened to the heroic man? All right, I'm going to refill my cup of coffee and I will be right back.
Dude, that was a great question. Thank you, Phil. Really enjoyed that. Does Pete know who Jordan Peterson is? Yeah, I might. I happen to live in the same city as him. All right, we have a question from Oliver. Oliver would like to know, hey, Pete, I've created a new account, but I was originally playing on Ashton the Snake, and I played you in Risk Legends Season 2, Round 2. What do you mean Season 1, Round 2? Anyways, you might be right. I just watched the video and I was in. I just watched the video I was in, and a couple of people asked me if I should be on YOBB. I thought it would be a really nice experience. Anyways, if you want to put me on the waiting list, DM me. If not, that's okay too. Oliver, answer is absolutely yes. Also, thank you. Oliver is now a event helper for this season's tournament. How did he do round 1? 16 points, just like me. Awesome. Good job, sir. And yes, I would love to chat with you. I can't figure out a way to incorporate waiting on your best behavior on the main channel because the sensitivity of the YouTube algorithm seems to be that I can't mess around. I can't play other games. I can't do independent Geoguessr videos without hosing my algorithm. And I can't really play the podcast because not enough people like it. So given that, I'm thinking I'm going to start a second channel where I can just anything goes. I won't care about the algorithm. So stay tuned, folks, for that. This is in the works now in the back of my mind. The next Kill Pete strategy channel, because we'll focus. The main one will be risk focused, right? We'll still do daily risk videos. This is all additional content I'm thinking of making. Seems where I shine is I can produce a lot of video of reasonably good quality. We hope. And some of butt plugs, but but as far as the technical stuff, I need a lot of help. That's just the way it is. $20 to call it Pete's Playtime. I like that. I like that a lot. Jordan Peterson is from Alberta. He lives in Toronto. Okay. Our next question is from No Name. Hello, Pete. If you became the lead risk developer, what feature would you add or improve on? We talked about that at the beginning of the show. And that was your question too. Okay, you already asked your question. Okay. We got there. Schlong McLong. I love your names. I love this name so much. Hey, Pete. Have you tried to get in touch with bigger streamers? No. Ludwig has played and shown interest in Risk. Okay. So, another thing for you guys to keep in mind. I am an old man. So I never came into this type of content with a context of it. I don't understand why these big streamers are kind of aspirational celebrities to you guys. I just don't get it. I'm not saying that's how it should be, but it seems to me that what is happening in this game? Am I about to win? It seems to me that they would wall themselves off from that sort of communicating. But we don't know, right? I'm totally open to it. I'm not all that gregarious online. I don't necessarily reach out to people in that way. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be so down to collab with famous people and help bring Risk. And I know that's the way you have to do it, right? That's how you help push the game to a wider audience. Is you kind of piggyback off of other people's audience and those people who are bigger than you. I'm new to the space, so I don't understand how to do it, but I will learn when the opportunity presents. Okay. So if whoever Ludwig is, if he would like to play Risk, I would love to play Risk with him. Cvex would like to know, if you could experience 10 minutes of history from one individual's perspective, who would you choose and when? Similar to the if you could go back in time question. Okay. Would be one of the most interesting. Like Marcus Aurelius is super interesting, right? He gave us his meditations. There's so many great thinkers in history. You can't extract them from the time and the place they were. I don't really have like intellectual heroes like that though. I'm much more interested in living people. I'm sure Socrates would be very interesting to talk to.
Got a question in the chat here. Zayanet. Do you have advice for someone who lacks empathy or sympathy? Do you have to force it, or can you teach yourself to feel it? That sounds like a psychopath, right? That sounds like the classical definition of psychopathy. Psychopathy, lack of empathy. A psychopath can have a very high form of cognitive empathy. In fact, they're very good at reading other people. They seem like they can read minds sometimes, but even though they can understand people's emotions, it doesn't register with them emotionally. They have no emotional empathy. Ah, okay. That's what it is. Got it. Um so I imagine if it doesn't come naturally to you, yeah, you can teach yourself how to model it. Like I would suggest that empathy in free for all is a skill. So one of the things I do well, one of the reasons I'm even good at this game at all, right, is I can model what my opponents want and usually predict well enough to guess what they're going to do so that I can give them what they want and still maintain a long-term positional or strategic advantage, right? That's my fundamental style of play. I actually lack um, technical risk skills, analytical skills. I'm not a top player in that regard, right? But I'm able to leverage my empathy, and I've been able to work on that over the years. That's where I shine. Um, and I hope that answered your question. 10 minutes of history from an individual's perspective. Yeah, maybe Socrates. But I figure it would change. It would change on the time. Maybe Genghis Khan would be awesome too. Ancient Egypt. I love a lot. Ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, Greece, all of those classical eras. Super, super interesting. Deck says, by the way, my question, I was thinking Neil Armstrong landing on the moon. Cool. Right on, man. You will never be able to comprehend my analysis skills in the game. You have no analysis skills. Your analysis skills fucking sum up to YOLO. Nick's like, fuck it. And just accidentally wins the game somehow because he's just that good. All right, moving on. We got General 88. Hey, Pete. I've been watching some of your older videos, mostly old, waiting on your best behavior. And I heard several references to team tournaments, 2v2, 5-a-side, and 3v3, to name a few. Do these tournaments still happen? Yes. If so, how could I get involved? They sound like a lot of fun. Also, are there any other tournaments you know of that you'd like to share? That would be cool. I'm playing my second FFA going on right now. And I played in Spud's Risk Legends last year. I'd love to know about all the tournaments you can get involved in. Okay. If someone is staff on my server, we really need to have a separate channel where we can post the links to all of the tournaments. I like to do a promo whenever a new tournament opens. There, in fact, was a new tournament that I became aware of called Major League Risk. And this is as good of a time as any to bring it up because this game is over. Caps? Yeah, we get the caps. Lucky, lucky. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So there was a Reddit post. Title of which was Brand New Tournament. Check it out. $100 no deal tournament, February 22nd. I was like, what is this? And they say join the Major League Risk server. So here is the server invite. I love seeing new tournaments come up. I do promos when they do arise. That's the invite to the Major League Risk Tournament. I don't know a lot about it, but February 22nd, I think it's free for all. You want to compete, go for it. Yes, 2v2 continues to exist. I don't know that I can invite people to the 2v2 server. I think I can, actually. Here's the invite there. And what else can I tell you? Every time new tournaments open, I like to promo them. And if you are looking to promote a Risk tournament, I can't imagine why you wouldn't reach out to me. I know my DMs are closed, but you can always reach me on my server. And I love doing this sort of thing. So every time a new tournament opens, I do the promos where I can. Next season's GM tournament are happening. The GM tournament and 5-a-side are actually on the same server now. this is the link to that. So this is the hybrid GM 5-a-side server. It's called Risk Grandmasters Arena. And yeah, it would be great. Someone remind me. It would be great if we added all of these links to my own Discord so people could get into the right Risk tournaments that they want to compete in, because I am such a passionate advocate and lover of the competitive Risk scene, and I'm trying to raise it up and help Risk reach its destiny like we have been doing, like we're on the right track. Thank you for the question, General. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you. I love you. Putting these questions in my Q&A keeps me going. I'm super, super interested to talk to you guys about this stuff, okay? We're going to end the YouTube video now. Stick around for one more game on Twitch. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you found some of it educational and informative, maybe even a little bit fun and entertaining. If you're interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Come along the ride with me. I have a daily release on YouTube. Stream on Twitch most weekdays for the winter. Until next time, for all of you on the path to world domination, good games, good luck. What is up, Globetrotters? What I like to do for the Geoguessr portion of the show is we are going to do the daily challenge. You are incepted into a location somewhere in the world. You have 3 minutes to walk around, figure out where you are. Chat, please help me out. Shout out the answers if you know it, but no Googling, because that's cheating. We get 5 of these. We're scored based on distance. Let's go. All right. We see pine trees. Getting North America from this. Maybe Europe. No language. That's a French car. All right. So Europe. Street sign or city. Europe. Karamanli. Anyone know Karamanli? Dur. What language is Anatolia? Is this Turkey? Dur. It means stop in Turkish. All right. That's great. So do we know? Yes. Do we know? Okay. We got the country real quick. That's great. Do we know where Karamanli is? So we're looking in Turkey. Anatolia's in the bottom. Yeah. It looks like we're somewhat mountainous. Let's see if we can nail it down. Let's get real close, guys. Karamanli. Southwest Turkey. Tefeni. Anatolia. Tefeni. Northwest. Karamanli and Tefeni. Okay. I think we got pretty good. All right, so we're on a highway. Karamanli to the left, which means that we're up here somewhere, right? Are we at this junction? No, we're here. This is the best. Are you kidding me? There's a place in Turkey called Tumulus. Let's get Reginald's belly here. He'll be the Tumulus boy. He'll be the mascot of Tumulus Turkey. I can't believe it. All right, we're going in. You're at that roundabout before the city. Before the city. Yeah, I think so. I think this is the spot, man. Maybe not. Trying to figure it out. Left. Like up here? Maybe that's the spot. We'll find out. Ah, south. All right, 3.8K off. 4,987. That's a really good start. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 2. That's a great start. Let's keep it going. What language? We got Bengali, Cambodian,
Asian. Let's get the language. Asian paints color your world. Is that Cambodian? Thailand. Is that Thai? Does anyone read Thai? Okay. Thai is good. We get Thailand right away. That's good. Can we do better than the country? Yeah. Katana? Ethgala Katana. That looks like an address. Is there a city called Katana in Thailand? Probably the name of a tiny village, sure. So we don't really get... All right. You guys can point me in the right direction if you know it. Too bad I don't read Thai. Yeah, I'm fine to go with Thailand as the country. You visited the south, so you're guessing northern Thailand. You like the vibe in the floor? By the bay. Which bay? Yeah, so I think we're in a village called Katana, but as far as I can tell, I can't guess where it is. So I'm kind of hedging by picking kind of the middle of the country. We'll see how we do. We're in Sri Lanka. That was not Thai. That was Tamil. All right, so we were off by the language. And we were in a town called Katana on Sri Lanka. Okay. Only 1,000 points from that one, guys. Too bad. All right, what are we getting here? Eastern Europe. Mediterranean, perhaps. Greece. Okay, maybe. Maybe. Let's go down the hill and into the village, shall we? If we can. Yes, let's get down this hill. Okay, we see a Citroën, French car again. So yeah, strong confidence on Europe. Looks like Bulgaria, Croatia. It's split Croatia. How do you know? He's sure. Okay. We'll go with Slim Vecchi. Split Croatia. That is a very confident... You're from there. Okay, well. Can't go wrong with having the local split Croatia. All right. So... Up here, maybe? Hope I'm right. Don't fuck me. Don't say I hope I'm right. Okay, what does this say? Conic City with 3 Tasmanian devils. Does this help? No, it's not split then. You All right. Hard discount Lakovic. Could still be Croatia, right? It's not. It's Bosnia? Okay, okay. Bosnia, eh? So Bosnia is here. What was the city called? Lakovic? Is there a city called Lakovic or Lakovic? Relatively near the sea. Konjic, north. North Bosnia? By Podgorica. Where's that? 30 seconds, guys. Help me out. Montenegro. Okay, so we're in Montenegro. We're by Podgorica. Opt for South Bosnia. Damn it. Didn't get it. Okay. It was actually the city of Podgorica. So a large city in Montenegro. Okay, great. I'm happy with 4,900 for the third pick. Moving on to question number 3. Okay, tropical. What language? Africa? English? English Africa? Look at the Google car. Got what looks like a white pickup truck. Ronam International. Tanzania. Okay. Can we do better than the country? I'll trust you. With lemon power. The bull washing barn. I wonder what they wash in there. No, it's a guess? Okay. There's no car covered in Tanzania. Don't steer me wrong, folks. Stabex International. Cosme Property Agencies. Babtuka. Let me read this better. No, it's still blurry. Well, okay, so we're confident on Africa. We're confident on English Africa. So yeah, Kenya, Uganda. Apparently there's no coverage in Tanzania, so that rules it out. Buloba, Uganda on the sign. Okay. Where is Buloba? So we found the country. Bubale, Busese. Where is Buloba? Dar es Salaam, Tanzania? It's Kampala. It is. Buloba. Oh, baby. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 4,995. Let's nail the last one down, all right? Let's go. Spanish. South America? Quadia. Quadia City? Where is Quadia City? We got lawyers. We got more lawyers. You're guessing Brazil? Is Quadia City in Brazil? This language looks Spanish to me, not Portuguese, but maybe I'm wrong. Thank you, Matthew Lawrence, for the Prime sub. Thank you so much, man. Grateful for the support, guys. And keep me going. Keep me doing this work for y'all. Allows me to spend a lot more time making TV than I otherwise would be able to, so thank you. All right. That's half of our time, folks. We need Quadia City. I have no clue, and I'm not going to cheat. I respect that. No need to search it up. Carlos Mendez Gracias. What flag? That looks like the Chilean flag? Is there a Quadia City in Chile? No front license plate, so maybe Puerto Rico. Okay, that could be the Puerto Rican flag. Carlos Mendez was running for Puerto Rico. Okay, cool. Well, that's great. If we're in the country, on the island, I'm guessing Quadia City would be a part of San Juan then. Would be a guess still. 30 seconds. Can you show the flag? Yeah, it was like similar to the flag of Puerto Rico. It was like an embellishment on it. For 30 seconds, I don't want to go back, unfortunately. Pete is the reason Waldo is hiding. I'm trying to find him. I would just have a beer with Waldo, man. Hang out with him, you know? Cool dude. All right, that is time in the round. We were in Puerto Rico, and it was Aguadilla Pueblo on the West Coast. Very cool. All right, happy with this round. I don't think we quite got the gold, but we're close. 20,621 points. Thank you, folks, for helping me out. Well done, everybody. Well done, well done. Let's see if we get the Wordle. Oh, talk about split. That is Croatia. What is the capital of Croatia? Sorry, we do the neighbors first. The neighbors are Bosnia, Hungary. I'm hungry right now. Wait, that's not Hungary. That's Slovenia. That is Hungary. Yes? Yeah. Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia. Yes. Okay. And then the capital of Croatia is Zagreb. Yes. And the population. Okay, what's the flag of Croatia? Bing. We know that one. Currency and population. Okay, currency. How many people? How many people live in Croatia? Does anybody know? I'm guessing it's 10 to 20. But it might be small. I'm going to go with D. You only think there's 6 mil? All right. We're going with B. We're getting Slim Vecchi, the self-proclaimed Croatian in the chat. We're going to go with B. We got it. 3 to 6 million people live in Croatia. And the currency is the kuna? Thought the currency would be the euro. Is Croatia not on the euro? Interesting. Croatia's not on the euro. Croatia, officially the Republic of Croatia, is a country on the crossroads of Central and Southeast Europe. Its coast lies entirely on the Adriatic Sea. It borders Slovenia to the north, Hungary to the northeast, Serbia to the east, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro to the southwest, and shares a maritime border with Italy. To the west and southwest, its capital and largest city, Zagreb, forms one of the country's primary subdivisions. With 20 counties, the country spans 56,594 square kilometers and has a population of nearly 3.9 million. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Geoguessr portion of the show. Wherever you find yourself in the world, I hope you have yourself a very great day.